Welcome back to Satisfactory. Today we're just going to make some steel pipes. We're about to start actually getting work done here. And the key to getting our nuclear pasta is getting heavy frames. So we need some steel pipe. We have used in the past a different steel pipe recipe. So we're going to need a platform with... This is taking a while. There we go. Load steel pipe. That part's done. And we just need to change these recipes to use steel ingots. Now, each one of these builds uses 60 steel ingots per minute. We want this to be the steel pipe. And each one of these is 60 per minute. Is that right? 30 steel ingots per minute. 30 steel ingots per minute. So 60 per minute. And then over here, we know we're using 150 compacted coal from our rocket fuel factory. So this is times 4, right? 2.5 times 4 is 10. So we're going to get 4 times 150. So we're going to get 600 steel ingots. So we need 10 of these built. Only 10? Oh, that seems kind of small. But okay. 10 it is. With only 10, it would be nice to be able to build the whole thing on one layer. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's not going to be enough space. I think we're going to have to do 2 layers of 5. I just realized I don't know which direction this is facing. Let me check the directionals on the blueprint. Really, I wanted to start over here and go that way. Oh yeah, so it's really a good idea that we check this. Do I really need this to be 2 inputs? Oh, I don't have any power. I'm like, why can't I hover? I really don't need this to have 2 inputs. Yeah. We're doing less than 1 belt's worth. I don't know what I was thinking over here. I guess for the other recipe, it's probably a different... So let's see. We want these probably to both go the same direction. Something like that. Wait a minute. Why am I even doing this? We'll just do it this way. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so it's going this way, so we want to start going that way. And we'll just do 6, even though we only really need 10. We'll put in 12. A little extra capacity. I don't know that we'd ever need it, but it looks a little more balanced. All right, we need to get our hovering. Sometimes you just can't take it anymore and you got to get some hovering going. And then we'll just turn this. Maybe we need to set up some power. We'll knock the power out here in the middle, just to save ourselves a little pain with trying to fly around. We'll also double check our work, make sure that the outputting steel ingots can flow directly in. Okay, so they're going to flow in here. Oh, I have this set up wrong. Okay. We've made a huge mistake. Our blueprint is just not really working for us today. So here's the input side. Okay. Now I think we got it right. Take two. It's better just to admit that you got it wrong and fix it. I think a nice... Let's give ourselves a little room to see that we're providing input there. I'd love to get this done in one shot. Okay. We are rocking and rolling. I think I'm going to let that build up the supply while we build out the rest. We obviously don't need computers. There we go. So this should basically burn off 100% of the compacted coal. I like this back and forth method a lot more than everything going straight through the factory. The serpentine method is very nice. Some of these won't actually, because we have 12 when we only really needed 10, so we have a slight overcapacity problem. So I'm just going to hand distribute one round of steel ingots just so everybody can start chipping in as quickly as possible. I'm worried that that one was exactly 0. Concerned it's not connected. And one more. Look at that. Okay. Now, how do we want to store these? It's possible that we really don't need a massive storage. I know. But I think it's true.
I don't know. Have a good day.
Oh, it's getting darker. It's perfect time for a super dramatic thumbnail. All right, how do we want to store this? Mostly, we want to start pointing this direction. That's the biggest thing. We want this to be steel pipe. We'll just do an underground or use the upper half of the lower layer to get this stored. ideally we won't use it very much, right? Because we're going to hook up these steel pipes to a demand relatively quickly. But, you know, if that demand ever slows down, we want to make sure, one, we want to make sure that we're keeping the compacted coal busy. Why is it stopping here? Oh, I see. It's going in here, down here. It's weird to me that I can't see them moving all the way down. Which means they are stopping somewhere. Right here. Okay. There's plenty of steel ingots kind of in storage if we ever need to grab a few. We have that option. I don't really think we're going to need to do it. I've already uploaded them. So if we need to make a steel pipe in real time for some reason, we can. But we're also uploading steel pipes directly, so I guess that is the other question. Do we put a digital uploader on this version of the steel pipe? I don't think we do. Honestly, I think we're done, but let's move into bonus content and get into some heavy modular frames. This is a big piece of machinery. Don't do it. So here's the problem. As I know I have a supply of screws that I want to burn down, but this is a much more efficient. I get 2.8 as opposed to 2. But I do think it's worth it to get rid of these screws. So I'm going to make this the heavy modular frame, the screw heavy modular frame platform. And then I'm thinking we'll have 2 inputs for screws. We don't need this one here. We need this up here. Why are these not aligned? Oh, because one's on the thing and the other one's on the other thing. All this just to screw or cram more screws in. But that will definitely get us a huge chunk of screws in place. The problem is each one of these is 240 screws per minute. And if you try to do a row of 6 of those, 6 times 240 divided by 780, that's just under 2 belts worth. Actually, we need 5. I don't like the placement of that. Let's get the output. The output's only 2 per minute, so that's we're not worried about maxing any belts out. We'll put this one to the ground. Uh-oh, what did I save this as? Screw heavy frame platform. Okay. Confirm. Blueprint, screw. Let's get 6 of these. And we've got everything we need to build it on us, which is a nice change. I could put in 7 of these. Let's see how it looks. Oh no! We didn't put power or recipes in. I think we'll just put in a little... We'll just put in some signage. Heavy modular frame. Original. Oh, I'm so glad it fits. This is going to be a lot of heavy machinery. These bottom two have to be the screws. Okay, where are we? We want these screws up there. One of them would fit, but the other one would be a nightmare. Let's just move you over a little bit. Why isn't this... Oh my god, I put smart splitters in. This is my fault for continuing to have the smart splitter be right next to the other splitters on my toolbar. I keep enabling this mistake. Probably easier just to go through and in place replace. This bus is getting big. Let me just connect the screws for this video. We are in the midst of bonus content after all. Now we need actual power. I just want to preload as many screws as we can. No wonder it's got a stack of 500 on it. Now we should have a pretty healthy supply of screws. Though that is telling me that there's a problem. We got to upgrade these. We built this originally back in the Mark IV days. Well, we're getting nothing as far as things that will actually upload. But we definitely need some room. Let's take from inventory before depot. That should be a good chunk of screws. I still feel like it's gapping here. Why does it seem like it's only 50-50? Doesn't it look like a space? Looks like there's a space. Totally looks like a space. How do I tell? If I go to Mark IV, well, it's Mark V all the way down, so at some point, I guess I have to trust that my lion eyes aren't lying. Maybe there's just more of a gap than I am expecting. Now, back to the steel pipes. I mean, there's basically no reason not to just drop them. I think we can get an infinite lift if we move this over one. Looks like we need to move to the right. There we go. We found one. Chances are good that's in the right direction, but we'll find out here in a second, and then we'll call it. We're lacking just enough access to power to make that impossible. Okay, let's redo that. Terrible. Well, that's easy. We already have 2 out of 4 of the ingredients necessary to start making heavy modular frames in place. Exciting. So the only thing that's going to be weird is that we're not going to use screws for anything else. We're only going to use screws for this first level. Yeah, I'm not really going to do this. I'm just curious. How bad do we want to have these screws ready to go? We could have a little storage in here. Of course, to do that right, we would need to have a single storage for each one of these. And I don't want to do that. We already have a massive storage of screws downstairs. We don't need to add more storage. So then all we need is the encased industrial beam, which we've got plenty of, and the modular frames, which we definitely have plenty of. And then we'll just make this whole area a heavy modular frame factory. With this one being focused on using the screws so we can burn down those screws. And I might leave this level blank. I kind of have something in mind for this level. I think you might know what it is, but I'm going to make it a surprise. Kind of an observation deck exclusively for heavy modular frames. And then we'll just push through to nuclear pasta. How many steps between there and there? Let's see. Heavy modular frames, I know you gotta fuse them. Fuse them in a blender with some nitrogen gas, which our rocket fuel factory has that for us. Then you got to get pressure conversion cubes by way of radio control units. We haven't even touched radio control units. And then copper powder. So the copper powder is done. We've got hundreds of thousands of copper powder ready to go. Okay, so we'll knock out the heavy modular frames. We'll fuse them by bringing in the good old-fashioned nitrogen gas. We'll have to do the empty, unempty thing. And then And then we'll just push through to nuclear pasta and at least get a part of phase 4 complete. There's so many phases. The problem with me is I start to enjoy the mid game. This is a universal problem with me. I love the mid game. But we'll call it there. That's a nice, just over an hour. We got a lot done, actually. Big supply of steel pipes and a whole fresh supply, or starting the process of getting our heavy modular frames. Next episode, we'll get this modular frame situation resolved, because here's the interesting thing. The heavy modulars and the encased modulars. Frames, pipes, industrial beam, screw. Frames, pipe, industrial beam, concrete. So the only difference between them is that you get more heavy modular frames, but you have to bring in concrete. Now, the ratios are different, obviously. This is 33.75 steel pipes, and this is 40, but then this is 10 industrial beams, and this is 9.375. So I think it still makes sense for us to go ahead and execute this. What we'll do is we'll probably try to foist in concrete semi-direct. We'll just put it in and then stop using screws when we loop around and just start using concrete instead. And I think having this as part of the blueprint makes sense. And then we'll make another modular frame blueprint in the next episode. It's going to be pretty easy to get this going, mostly because we already have easy access to the modular frames. It's going to be a little more difficult to get the industrial beams, but not by much. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate it. We'll see you next time.